Alright, so today I've got you in the cab of the square body, and what I want to do today is address this floor. And there's several things that I want to do in reference to the floor to get it, what I call finished. And the first thing is to repair the areas that I had to cut into the floor to get the cage nuts out when I did the body mount. So if you watch that video, the body mount installation video, you know that 3 of the 4 captured nuts on this truck spun free, and I had to cut into the floor, pry a flap up to be able to access them and fix that, install the body mounts, and be done with that. So I've completed that part, but now these flaps I got to deal with. I got to bend them back down, hit them with a hammer, and then weld them back shut. So that's one thing I want to accomplish. So the second thing I want to do is on the passenger side floorboard. There's a little bit of rust on that floor. That's the only real rust on the floor of this cab, and I want to deal with that and get that fixed. And then after that, I want to address these weather stripping areas where your weather stripping goes down by your rocker panel down here. And if you own one of these trucks, you know what I'm talking about. There's a lip there, and it just collects dirt, and it just is a place where water gathers, dirt gathers, and then you got mud, and then you get rust. So I want to make sure mine's really good and cleaned out. Once I do all that, I'll get the floor cleaned up, vacuumed, wiped down. I'll hit it with some Pour 15 metal prep, and then I'm going to paint the whole floor with Pour 15. So let me show you in a little bit more detail what I'm dealing with here. Alright, so this is the driver's side floor, and there's one area that I had to cut and lift up, and I want to fix that. There's the back mount here. I've got them sprayed down with a little bit of primer on all those raw edges there, and I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to bend those flaps down. Now, I did make the decision that I'm not going to weld all the way around in case I ever have to access them again. I can't think of why I would have to access them again, but I am just going to kind of tack them in a couple places, so if I ever need to get in there again, all I've got to do is hit those tacks and not have to, recut the whole thing. And once you put your carpet down and I paint it, once I paint it, put the carpet down and everything else, you're never going to see that anyways. So the other area is this door channel molding here in this rocker. You can see I've got a little bit of rust and spots. Whoop, that piece just popped off. And that's because of all this dirt in here. And I got to get this out of here and get it cleaned up. And then hitting it with that Pour 15 is not the solution long term, but it will buy me some time. And eventually I'll probably have to possibly replace the rockers. So here's the passenger side, and this is, I got to get all this back down. And then, there's just some spots that I don't like on this side. I've sprayed them with some rust converter, but I want to grind all this down, get it cleaned up, particularly kind of see over here, there's some rust right there. And this rocker, I think definitely will need to be replaced. It's a lot further gone than the other one, but in the meantime, I can get some of this stuff out. I mean, there's just tons of dirt and debris in here. I can get this all cleaned up and hit it with a good coat of paint, and like I said, probably buy me some time until I can get to the actual, repair of this rocker. All right, I have got my work cut out for me, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, quite a bit of prep here and cleaning, but check that out, how clean that is. And yeah, obviously you can see some got some cheese grater action right there in the rocker, which I knew about, but these flaps folded down, they tacked up well. I think that looks really good. And again, if I ever have to get in there, I don't know why I would, but if I ever have to get in there, I don't have to cut the whole floor out. I just got to cut those little tacks out there and just hit the whole floor like that. Hit it with primer in the some spots that were really bad. So I got it taped up here because I want to put the Pour 15 on the outside of this lip here on the rocker, just to buy me, like I said, buy me a little bit more time, and that'll all be covered up with the weather stripping, so it's not going to look bad. Let me show you the other side. All right, here's the driver's side, and kind of the same deal. Tack these up, ground them down a little bit. Primer's still a little tacky, but yeah, same thing back here. Just cleaned it up. Look at that. Thank you to my wife, Kelly, who was out here vacuuming with me this morning. Probably not what she wanted to do, but she did a great job. And now give this primer a little bit of time to dry, and we'll be ready for paint. All right, so we are ready for paint, and I've got everything cleaned up, wiped down, Pour 15 metal prep, lots of vacuuming. You can see how all that's cleaned out now in those grooves. The floor looks really good, and I've got the flaps tacked down from when I did the surgery on there to get those body mounts out, and we're ready to go. So as far as supplies go, we've got 2 paint brushes, because my wife Kelly's actually going to help me with this screwdriver to get the lid off this, and some gloves. You don't want to get this stuff on your skin. It does not come off very easily. And then of course this is just semi-gloss Pour 15 quart can, and that should be plenty. We're going to do 2 coats, and let's get to painting. Let's see if we can make this thing look a lot better. All right, so we're making good progress. Had a little problem with the can. Couldn't get it open, but Pour 15 cans are always like that. I don't know why, but anyways, floor looks pretty good. It's my wife Kelly painting. Don't get any in your hair this time.
I'm trying not to.
She got some in her hair when we did the subframe to the Camaro, and it literally did not come out. She had to go to her hairdresser to get it colored back. But anyways, really happy with the way this looks. This is just coat number 1. We're gonna let this dry for a little while, and then we'll hit it with the second coat, and I'll show you guys the finished product here in just a minute. All right, so here's the floor after the second coat, and looks really good. Let me show you the other side real quick. Here's the driver's side floor, and stuff is strong. It's got a really strong smell to it, but it'll probably take a couple days for it to dry, and probably about a week for it to cure out. But another big job done. Another step in the right direction here for this old square body.